This is a glow up activation. If you are watching this right now, know that you are tapping in to a preferred timeline. In fact, you have activated by your attention and your focus, and just by clicking on this video. You have tapped in and activated and opened blessings, riches, beauty, love, and glow up energy for yourself. You have been chosen. Just by you clicking on this video, you have been chosen to be a part of this glow up series that I'm doing. I have set direct, clear intentions to draw in the people that need to tap in to their preferred timeline. So know that by you just clicking on this timeline, clicking on this video, it's like clicking on a timeline, and you've tapped into it. Know that you have entered into this timeline since you've clicked on this video. Hello, my beautiful lovelies. Welcome back to yet another pick a card reading here on the channel. If you're new, hi, my name is ADIE and I will be your tarot reader today. We do lots of different things over here in this YouTube coven of ours. We, of course, get deep into our cards, okay? We go deep into the pick cards, the collective readings. We even do tarot hangouts on live, but we also get into our divine magic. And we do candle burnings, collective rituals. All right, so if that's your jam, join, okay? Subscribe, like this video, tell me down below who you are. We also have 2 book clubs, which I really do want to mention before we get into this, because I just posted the first 2 books that we're going to get into in August, okay? Now, the first book club is called Magically Meta. This is our book club. It's our spiritual book club, okay, where we explore books of magic, wonder, metaphysics. It's very centered around elevation, ascension, becoming more powerful, okay, through the study of magic, okay, and spirituality. And then the second book club is called Escape from the 3D. All right, it is a sci-fi fantasy book club. That's my jam. That's my genre that I love. So if you guys are interested in any of those types of, books, go and join the book club. It's on Fable. The app is free to join. I just love the way things are done over there on Fable. It's really interesting, and they've changed things since I've been gone, and now I'm back. So all 75 of you guys, go over there and get back into the books, okay? We're doing a repeat of one of the books that we read a year or so ago on Magically Meta. So if you didn't have a chance to read the Kabbalion and follow along or even finish, we're rereading that, and I'll tell you why in just a moment. And the second book for 3D, Escape from the 3D, I already started it. I'm on chapter 5. It is such a good book. And I found that book in the Dollar Tree, y'all. I found that book in the Dollar Tree. I was so surprised. I got it because I was like, okay, it's just $1.25. It's really cute. Like, I really get drawn to like really cute covers. And it had a a woman of color on it. And so it was just like really cute. And that's why I bought it. But I'm surprised. The book is really good. Okay, so check out the book that I have on Escape from the 3D too. But this video is going to be all about your glow up energy, right? This is just going to be a 4-part series of your glow up. We're diving deep into different categories of your glow up. Okay, so make sure you check out all 4 parts. Okay, I'll make a playlist so that you guys can find them very easily. Okay. Now, you know I got you with the glow, right? You know I'm gonna show you what to do even, and how it's gonna be once you glow up, right? But I'm also gonna show you. And you say, how, ADIE? How are you gonna show me to glow up? Bitch, I got you. The House of Glamours, the doors to the House of Glamours have just opened. This is my magic school where I'm going to be teaching glamour magic, beauty magic, and sex magic, okay? Now you guys, I have changed my life tremendously, have done a whole 360 a few times with glamour, beauty, and sex magic. You know, these forms of magic have really helped me just step into my most powerful, radiant, magnetic version of myself. And now I'm sharing and teaching you guys how to do the same, okay? You can literally manifest anything with glamour magic and sex magic, and beauty magic is just like a huge perk to both of these forms of magic. I don't want to spend too much time, so you guys can, you know, replay, rewind, screenshot everything that is going to be in the course. Is a lot. This course is heavy on it, okay? Real beefy, bitch. All right, so go ahead and screenshot. I'm not going to take up the whole freaking intro to explain to you guys, but basically this is going to help you become a spiritual baddie, okay? A triple threat, bitch. All right, so I do want to talk just a bit on how you guys can join House of Glamours. This is a true community, a true coven, a true magical school, and I wanted to include everybody that is interested in glamour magic and just magic in general. And so like any other school, you can go there for different reasons. Now, there's 3 different ways that you can join House of Glamours. The first way is, or one of the ways is the bouquet plan, which is just for those students that don't want to be so social, don't really care about the community aspect. Or anything else that House of Glamours has to offer. Okay, so with that bouquet plan, you just get the glamour, beauty, and sex magic course that comes in this school. And you also get a community chat. No matter which way that you choose to join House of Glamours, we're gonna all be connected. We'll all be able to talk and meet each other and empower each other as well. Okay, so even the bouquet, even though you know you might just want only the course, you'll still be connected to the community in, you know, a small way. Now, the seedling plan is more of like community with a little bit of magical application education, okay? So it comes with a community chat. You'll be updated with what's going on with the YouTube and just the community itself with the announcements. You also will get first access to the pick a card readings here, as well as exclusive readings that are only just for house members. You'll have access to private lives. So, you know, this also goes for the collective rituals that we do here on the channel that are paid, that people pay to work with me as a practitioner. You will be automatically included in those collective rituals. There's no need to go to the stand store and purchase a spot with the ritual. You'll already be joined in with that ritual or spell. Like right now, I have the Lion Gates up there, so if anybody joins now, you're already automatically joined to the Lion Gates ritual that we're about to get into on the 8th. Okay, but private lives also go for the book club discussion. I really love, like I said, I really love Fable and how they do things over there, where we can keep up with each other throughout the month or however long that we're reading our book. We can keep up with each other. We can write on each of the chapters. I really like that. There's no spoiler alerts. I really, really like that. But I also want to be able to like talk to you guys, you know, I want to be able to talk to you guys after we read the book, like doing a book discussion, maybe even like a few meetups throughout the month to discuss certain things about the book. I would love to do that. So the private lives will be included with that seedling plan. The spell and ritual library is also what you guys would have access to. So the spells that I post on here, you would get first access to it, but also there are going to be spells and rituals, and you guys already know how I do my spells and rituals. It's instruction based. I'm giving you the spell, I'm giving you the ritual, but I'm also teaching you about magic within these spells and rituals. So there's going to be spells and rituals and practices that are going to be exclusive only to House of Glamour. Okay, Glamours. Now, lastly is the Rosebud Garden Plan. You get everything that's in the seedling plan, okay, but you also get the Glamour, Beauty, and Sex Magic course that this school comes with. You also get workshops and lectures, and you also get the yoga and meditation studio, okay? So the workshop that's already on there is the Candle 101 workshop, Candle Magic 101 workshop. So if you join, you have access to that workshop already. And you also get discounts on Etsy. Okay, whatever I have going on Etsy, you'll get a discount each month with the Rosebud Garden Plan. There's a lot to this school, you guys. Okay, and I am just so excited to get into this with you guys, and for you guys to see the back end, like the inside, not the back end, but the inside of House of Glamours. I'm so excited. I have it all set up with the rooms, the classrooms, and all of it. I'm excited for the yoga and meditation studio. You know, I've been practicing yoga for 14 years, and it's been a huge practice in my life that has helped me heal through many different traumas and anxieties and depression. And it's also a form of magic. A lot of you guys don't know that yoga is actually magic, okay? And it could be used for manifestation. It could be used for transmutation is what I use it for, okay? So there's going to be a yoga studio. I am so excited to actually teach yoga and meditation, host live meditations and yoga flow over there. You guys, I'm so excited because this has been on my heart for years. This is what I have been wanting to do for years, but it's all came together with what it was supposed to be. And I'm just so excited. And what do I want to say? I can't even find the words. Like, it's like, it just feels like I'm coming home, like, to my guides, because my guides have had this on my heart for years before I even knew what it was really going to be. So it just feels really good for it to be finally manifested. But I do want to talk about the payment so that you guys don't get confused with what's going on over there. So the bouquet plan, that's a one-time tuition fee. You're just paying for the Glamour, Beauty, Sex, Magic course, just a one-time payment. Now Seedling and Rosebud are both, these are both subscription-based payments. But the difference between these two is that Rosebud comes with that initial first payment, which will be the tuition for the magical application education, okay? So just don't want you guys to get confused. If you do want to do Rosebud Garden Plan, that first initial payment is just a tuition fee for all of the education that's in this place, in this space, this community. I'm just so excited for it. But after you pay that tuition, you just get into the subscription-based payment that next month. Okay, so I just didn't want you guys to be confused about that, because I knew that there was going to be people that wanted the Glamour course and the full access to the community. So that's what Rosebud is okay? And yeah, once you join House of Glamours, you immediately get access to this community space. You can start learning, you can start looking around and seeing how it's going to be, start meeting new members and building community with me over there. I am just so excited. Oh, and then lastly, I do want to say that the House of Glamours is early bird enrollment. Okay, so the school is half off right now for Rosebud and Bouquet that wants to take the Sex Magic, Beauty and Glamour Magic course. that'll be there. It is half off right now. In the fall, when the course becomes available, it will go up. Okay, like I said, I hope you guys screenshot it earlier with everything that's going to be in there. This is going to be a lot. Okay, and I'm just so happy like that I made this. I knew it was going to be really like anything I do, I go to town. You know what I mean? It's kind of like, I don't want to say that it's a hindrance, but it's definitely like a superpower of mine, because I just want you to have all the information, and I'm going to actually show you, like, this school is going to be full of ritual and practices and spells. Like, it's not just gonna tell you, we're gonna do this together. You know, I love it. It's gonna be so fun. I'm so excited. But that is pretty much it. I do want to mention, there's the Lion Gates. If you guys want to join the Lion Gates ritual, that's up on stand still. And if you want to book a reading with me, check out the Etsy. That's where I book. That's where I'm always going to have book my clients, I think, because I just love being able to talk to you guys back and forth, and Stan was not allowing me to do that. So you could book a tarot reading with me through Etsy. Everything is linked down below in the description box. But I'm going to hurry up and get into this reading. Let's get into this reading. Okay, guys? Sorry, I'm looking at the screen. Let's get into this reading. This is a glow up activation. If you are watching this right now, know that you are tapping in to a preferred timeline. In fact, you have activated by your attention and your focus, and just by clicking on this video. You have tapped in and activated and opened blessings, riches, beauty, love, and glow up energy for yourself. You have been chosen. Just by you clicking on this video, you have been chosen to be a part of this glow up series that I'm doing. I have set direct, clear intentions to draw in the people that need to tap in to their preferred timeline. So know that by you just clicking on this timeline, clicking on this video, it's like clicking on a timeline, and you've tapped into it. Know that you have entered into this timeline since you've clicked on this video. This is tarot magic. There is such thing as using tarot cards to tap in to a certain frequency, and that is all what a timeline is. Your preferred timeline, where all of those manifestations, be it money, the person that you want to marry, that body, that job, whatever it is a frequency. So know that what we're doing here today is tarot magic. Now, what helps this tapping into a certain frequency, tapping into this timeline, this preferred timeline where this part of your life glows up, is your agreement. Now, what is your agreement? It is your focus. You watching this video, and also you agreeing to it. That's all these tarot readings are here on this. The general readings, it's a certain frequency that you're tapping into. That's why it's showing up. That's why you're clicking on it. That's why you're witnessing it, because you're tapped into it. Now, everything that we're going to pull today is going to be the bomb.com, right? But by any means, if you do not agree, you don't want it, click off. Pick another door. Pick another portal. Pick another whatever. Pick another reading selection. But all you need to do is focus on this reading in order to tap into the timeline. Now, this is going to help open up a timeline for your preferred energy to flow throughout your life, for your life to glow up in this way. But what's going to help you anchor it is the Lion Gates portal. The Lion's Gate portal is such a powerful day. I have not missed it in the past 5 years. I have used the Lion Gates portal to change my life several times. The first time that I used the Lion Gates portal, I was homeless. I didn't have a place to live. So you could guess what I used that day for. I asked for a house. I desperately wanted a house, not an apartment. I wanted a house with a backyard, okay? At least a 3-bedroom house. You know what I got? I got a 6-bedroom house in a whole beautiful new state. The second time that I used the Lion Gates portal, and that first time that was the first time knowing about the Lion Gates portal. I didn't know anything about it. So don't think that you don't know anything about the Lion Gates portal and this is your first time joining the Lion Gates ritual that we're doing on the 8th, that you can't manifest the literal shit out of your life with the Lion Gates portal. Because I did it with nothing, okay? Now, the second time that I used the Lion Gates portal was for my healing. I desperately wanted to just heal and to feel better and to just work through really deep trauma, deep-rooted trauma. And I did. The third time was more about my social media exposure. I wanted to be exposed and on social media and really be out there. That is when my YouTube channel went viral and my Instagram went viral. Okay. And the second or the fourth one was about love and beauty. Okay. So a bitch is engaged. A bitch is beautiful. Okay, so I used it to really basically also with my glamour and my beauty magic, but also the Lion Gates portal to elevate in my appearance and in my love life. Now, the 5th time that I've used the Lion Gates portal was for the apartment that I'm living in right now. I desperately wanted to change my living situation. I no longer wanted to live in a huge house anymore. And I really wanted to manifest an apartment that was cute, small, but very nice, with a pool and a gym and a playground for my kids. I didn't get the playground, but I got everything else. So I'm telling you, the Lion's Gate portal is such a powerful day to utilize each year. So join me this August 8th for the Lion Gates portal, because this video here is going to help you tap in, but that ritual is going to help you anchor into that timeline. Okay, so join me on August 8th for the Lion Gates portal. If you want to join and be exclusively included into this ritual, go to the Stand store and purchase your spot, or you can join House of Glamours. If you join House of Glamours, you're automatically included in this ritual that we're getting into on August 8th. Okay, but I have set very clear intentions. Okay. This Lion Gates portal, you don't need to know much. And the Lion Gates portal, let me just be clear, it is when our sun is aligned with Sirius, our spiritual sun, okay? And the veil is really thin with our cosmic guides, and it is a very powerful day of the year, and we are blessed every year with this day, okay? And I don't skip it. I really don't skip it. Okay, I always do something, even if it's not something big. I always do something. I always charge my energy on the Lion Gates portal. So join me on August 8th if you want to really glow up and kickstart this glow up that we're about to get into. Okay, now let's get into our card selection. All right, my love, so this is going to be about your lifestyle glow up. This door here behind it is going to show glimpses of your life, how it looks, how it feels, the way you think about your life, even showcasing a little bit of the different energies, maybe people, activities that you're doing in your life, okay? So I wanted this to be very interactive, this series. So when you choose a door to walk through, there will be another picture kind of giving us a message about the access to this timeline, to this glow up, okay? So I want you to close your eyes, center yourself in your body, in your present moment. And then when you open your eyes, allow the door to speak to you. Allow the door that resonates to call you in, okay? Because behind this door will showcase a message, and then we'll go into the timeline. All right, you guys, I'm so excited. Timestamps are down below. I'll see you there. Hello, hello, reading number 1. Welcome. Let's dive in to your lifestyle glow up. I want to look at your before we go into your actual message behind the door. Okay, I can't find it. Let me see. Okay, I wanted to look at your door. Your door is really beautiful. This is the first reading that I'm going to be looking at all 3 pictures before going into the picture after you open the door. There's a message before you open the door. So this looks compared, I want to compare these doors to each other. There's an emerald green, so it makes me feel like there's going to be a lot of prosperity in this lifestyle of yours. This is also the first, I can't really tell with the other 2, but this is the first door that looks like it's already in a house. And so it feels like you have you've already maybe possibly stepped into this timeline, this glow up, but there's another door that you want to access. There's another area, that's access that has that you want to access in this timeline, if that makes sense. So it feels like you're already there, but there's other things that you want to kind of discover about your life. So this, this part of your glow up is also going to be very much, it's almost like you're discovering yourself again or reinventing yourself. So you're discovering deeper and higher levels of self. It's almost like you're becoming more yourself, it's not really about changing because it's already in a house, but it's uncovering depths of you and depths of your life through different activities, different goals. Okay, let's look at your picture. I'll put it up right now so that you can see the message before entering into this timeline. All right, so you have this doorknob and it has a key already into the hole, right? So again, I'm saying you have access to this timeline. I'm heavily picking up that you've already activated this certain lifestyle, life changes through visualization. You might have created it a year ago. I'm also hearing New Year's. You could have did some vision board energy or visualization. You've already created and tapped into it. It also feels like you are here, right? You're in this house. You're you're in this house in this timeline. But the only thing that's stopping you from possibly stepping into these different activities, these goals, these manifestations, ultimately this lifestyle change is momentum and action. So the message for you is to start doing these things. Now, also, if you are struggling with self-concept, having the confidence, maybe you start, but then you fall off, you need to get into the mirror. You need to get into the mirror. You need to work on self-concept. Now, the Lion Gates ritual is going to help with that. It's also going to be centered around self-concept, creating a new identity for yourself, right? House of Glamours is all about that. So if you're struggling with those types of things, feeling confident, feeling like you have low self-esteem, okay, check out those resources, okay? But it feels like you just need to take action. It's time to start doing these activities, okay? Let's get some cards on the flow. I was gonna say on the flow. We have the 7 of Cups. We have the 7 of Disc. We have the 6 of Discs. One more, Spirit, and we have the 8 of Swords, okay? So I'm seeing a lot of options in this lifestyle. It feels like it feels like freedom. With this 8 of Swords here, it feels like you're no longer stuck. You're no longer, you feel free to go in different areas of your life. As in, maybe in this old timeline, you weren't able to kind of like move as freely, but you're feeling more free, and there's like other options here. So this could look like, different ways of working on certain goals, maybe even having multiple jobs or career paths. But it just feels like you're really open-minded to thinking differently and then moving differently. In this glow up, there's a huge mental shift about the way that you see life, with the 7 of Cups, it feels like your life becomes less confusing. You're more clear on what you want to work on, what you want to build. There is an understanding of needing to do the work. So I feel like in this lifestyle, you're doing a lot of work, like you're putting in work that you might not be able to see until later down the road. And there's this curiosity and excitement, and also like this freedom. I don't think you're afraid of the unknown in this timeline, okay? I do feel like there is this energy of surprise and this dreamy aspect to your life. So this feels like you are deeply connecting to different people, different activities in your life, maybe in your career, in your just personal goals, and being very surprised on how these things turn out. It could possibly mean that in this new glow up, in this lifestyle, you're kind of really lost in your work with the 7 of Pentacles, like doing the work to see the results come in, and it feels repetitive. Okay. Let's get some more information on your lifestyle. Okay. But with this 6 of Cups, I do want to mention that in this lifestyle, it feels like you're helping people maybe in your career, you're helping people in your family in a financial way. It feels like there's a huge financial increase. It does feel like there's a lot, like you're very busy with work. So the biggest lifestyle change in this glow up is that your career gets very busy. So I do suggest that you go and watch the career and finance glow up that comes with this series, because I see a huge change and things just starting to kind of like, I want to say avalanche come in with this 6 of Pentacles. You kind of become this figure where you're able to help people in a physical way. Could be finance. It could be also, Pentacles could be a spiritual aspect. Children could be involved here. Okay. You could be living next to a beach or next to water, and spending time near the water, taking time near the water as well. Okay. So let's see what else is coming out. We have Aquarius, experimental. I think you are very much with this 8 of Swords and experimental, this new glow up with your life. You're just experimenting, and it feels very fun and it feels free. It doesn't feel like your mind is restricting you from going in different areas, trying out different goals, trying out different ways of possibly making money, or meeting new people, or even like new ways that you could interact with your life, maybe through your diet, through how you interact with your family, the things that you want to do in your life. Sure, there is this unknown energy, but I don't think it's holding you back anymore. You're finding it as like, very much tapping into fantasy and dream like energy, and willing to put in the work to create those dreams, whether they are surrounded centered, around like friendships, centered around work, centered around like you're willing to just like kind of put in the work and to see how it's going to unfold. There's no insecurities, there's no like mental challenges holding you back, keeping you stagnant. You're moving, which creates this increase in your physical life. Okay, so with the Aquarius energy, like I said, humanitarian, free, radical, diverse. I think there's a lot of different people around you. You're looking like an innovator. You're looking like, you know, this new life, you look like someone that's beyond the time. You know what I mean? Like I'm seeing Prince. I'm seeing like these different creators that in their time, they were kind of looked at as taboo and kind of like different and maybe even judged, but really they were innovators. They were leading the way for like where we are now. So there's this energy that, you know, you're being seen by that. It says group orientated. So you could be involving yourself. I really felt that heavily with the Six of Pentacles. You are getting more involved in like group activities. Maybe you're joining like a gym group, like different clubs. I see that like you're being more interactive. But this is also like showing how hard you're putting in to your life. So if you want to, like, say you want to learn how to knit. I don't know why I always bring up like knitting and crocheting. It's like one of my hobbies, but say that that's something that you want to do. You're finding like groups, you're interacting with people so that you can become a better knitter, right? So you're just very innovative. You're innovator. Okay, very radical, liberal, free. You're feeling very free and like just exploring different elements. And it's not like a scary thing. I feel like maybe in the past you felt very afraid, but it's almost like you're realizing, you know, with this turning of the key, needing to put momentum, is like being worried, being scared, feeling like, you know, that's not getting you to where you want to be. So it just feels like you're having this very unique way of life, also like possibly in your work, maybe even in the way that you interact with people outside of work, outside of your like family. There's a very unique way about your life that other people don't necessarily, like, they don't do, right? We have the sun energy here. It says essence, energy, self-awareness, life force, creativity. I see you deeply getting into creative work here, whether that's like, you know, wanting to put your artwork out there. I see that with the Seven of Cups here and the Six of Pentacles, like people are wanting to buy your work or just experience your work. I'm seeing someone put on like an art show at an art gallery, or open up their art gallery, or do a digital art gallery. There's a lot of creative work here. We have ego, individuality, expression. You're definitely expressing yourself a lot more in this life. There's a lot of success here as well, definitely centered around these two cards in the middle. And we do have Saturn right here. So like I said, there's a lot of work going in on these personal goals. And it's almost like, yeah, you might have had like some anxiety in the past towards maybe like working towards your body, or finishing up school, or, you know, finishing up these, or accomplishing goals in your career, or whatever, you know, whatever these goals are. There's a little bit of anxiety, but it's not really helping the situation. It's not helping you get to a point where there's this like, I want to say avalanche of energy coming in, right? So with that, I feel like the energy with a father figure becomes very highlighted here in this lifestyle. You're spending more time with a father, which that could be like the father of your children or your actual father. We also have honor. I feel like people are really seeing you as someone, like this picture, like it looks like a picture that's hanging up, right? And these people are like throwing flowers at her. So it feels like there's this energy of people honoring you, and that's the Six of Pentacles. So this could be people honoring you in funds. We have wisdom. You're using your wisdom here and you're applying it. You know, I often talk about how knowledge, you can have this knowledge, but if you're not willing to apply it to your life, it can never become wisdom. Wisdom is lived knowledge. Okay, so I do see that you're pouring knowledge into your life. You know, if you have knowledge on how to become more healthier, if you have knowledge how to become more wealthier, how to become more happier, more social, whatever it is, more creative, you're using those different knowledge, all those different pieces of knowledge, and you're applying it to your life with the Saturn's card here. There's discipline, there's structure. There is a lot of freedom in this new lifestyle, but I do see you having like time being very structured in your life. And I do see like you might have ADD, so having like like you might have ADD, ADHD or something like that, right? And you might even have a form of autism where it's hard to become more disciplined and structured, and time and responsibility is set here. So it's like you're very ambitious in this timeline, and you have a lot of creative ideas with the Seven of Cups. You have a lot of different things that you want to get your hands in. So structure and time, I see you becoming very disciplined with routine and like making things a responsibility, because this is like this is maturity here. So I feel like this is a timeline where you are more mature and you're using these things like having self-control and restraint and grounding yourself so that you can have these very practical results. Like it makes sense that money is coming in. It's making sense that you're getting healthier. It's making sense that you're making friends or being more social or you're getting married or whatever it is. It's making sense because you're being more disciplined with these goals, these things that you want to see come into fruition in your life. Okay, so you're very structured, you're very free, you're breaking free from restraints, but you're putting the restraints where they need to be in this lifestyle, and it's bringing in a lot of success for you. Okay, it's bringing in a lot of happiness. I think structure and discipline, you know, and having time management also makes you more happy. You do have some time where you feel like you're not connected to time or responsibility or structure, but most of this, you know, the way that things are flowing, it feels like this discipline brings happiness. It brings ease. It brings relaxation to you. It also brings heavy avalanche of results, okay, in many different areas of your life. So let's see some more energy here. We have life's a beach. You might be spending time near water. You might be going to the beach. But this is also just feeling very much like life is very relaxing. So like I said, you feel very free. There is this like relaxing type of energy, but I think also structure brings that into place for you. Okay, we have cosmic prosperity. In this lifestyle, you are worldwide. This person is sitting on a world. I feel like you're putting in work, possibly in your career. So check out the career and finance glow up video. But this is cosmic prosperity. So I see a lot of different material things coming into this lifestyle. I feel like you're living a very prosperous life. You know, the fact that you are very relaxed is showing how much abundance, maybe even wealth, or maybe even support and energy is coming in to your life. I feel like you're able to connect to a lot of people. I do feel like there is a select few that you're just really focused on growth. We have new beginnings. So in this lifestyle, there's a lot of new beginnings here. You're doing a lot of new things, like your diet is changing. The way that you're interacting with the outside world, outside of work, outside of home, that's changing. Okay, also you could be just turning a new leaf, like turning a new chapter. Like it feels like a lot of people, like I said, there could be selective people that are very close to home with this life is a beach. You're very grateful for these connections, but it feels like a lot of new people come into this, this glow up for you, you know, and they all kind of respect and love and honor you. Quiet times. In this timeline, you are it's a very quiet, peaceful time, even though there's lots of people around. I feel like you are prioritizing sleep. If you're not already, that should be something that you do. But there's a lot of quiet, peaceful time in this lifestyle. We also have reprogram. So it feels like this is a complete, like almost like reprogram, reboot. It feels very familiar, but it also feels very, very brand new. Okay, this new lifestyle that's coming into play. It feels like you're doing a lot of different new things, but they're the same categories that you've always been doing. So you're very, like if you're always health focused and exercising, you're still doing that, but you could be doing it in a different way, if that makes sense. Check out the Lion Gates portal ritual that we're doing on August 8th. It's coming up really soon. Join the House of Glamours. It's just open. The class is half off. Okay, don't miss it. I'll see you guys there. Peace. All right, number 2, welcome to your reading. Let's dive in. I want to first look at your door. And so I'm looking at your door here, and the door is open. Compared to both of these other 2 doors, your door is open. So you've opened this timeline. You've spent some time here before. And what I'm getting is that, okay, what I'm getting very heavily is that you've been on this timeline before, but there was some type of fall. And so, yeah, there is some, so what I'm saying is that you have spent some time in this room, right? And it almost feels like that energy of like, I gotta get back there. I just want to get back to like, it felt like I reached something, but I fell. So this is more about keeping the resonant frequency of this timeline. You've been there. And you were so happy. You couldn't believe that this was happening, but there's an energy of falling. And so when we fall, that means that we're losing the frequency. And most times when we're losing the frequency of a certain timeline, it's because of fear. It's because you were afraid of something. Or there was something that happened that triggered an emotional response, and it kind of took you out, like it took your mind off the frequency of what you were experiencing. And so you kind of fell down to a lower frequency, a lower timeline. Doesn't necessarily mean that it was a bad timeline, but it's not where you used to be. So it almost feels like you're trying to get back into this room. The door is open though. The door is open. It's always been open. You know, once we open these timelines, we have the ability to always go back, especially higher timelines that we fall from, you know. Now, there is such thing as like lower timelines canceling out. You can only move up, right? And not have that cancel out. The higher timelines do not get canceled out, closed out, collapse. It's the ones that are below that collapse. Okay, so you're on a lower timeline. Let me look at your picture, okay? That gives a message about getting into this door. I'm gonna put it up right now. Okay, it's dangling in front of your face. Okay, so it's dangling in front of your face, this key. You're just like, oh, it's right there. Why can't I just grab the key? And you know, it just feels like you just have to reach out and grab it. You know, it's about recognizing that you've already have access to it. It's about, you know, feeling your way back to that key. It's giving very much like this key is in a dark room and you have to feel your way through it to get to the key, to grab it so that you can get through it. But the trick is that the key that's dangling there is the door that's open, that you've already opened it. You don't really have to reach out and get access. you already have access about it. So it's about just tapping in and changing your vibration through your feelings. It's about, you know, noticing where your focus is, right? Because your focus is your agreement. Your focus is your key into this room. Okay, so let's get some cards out on the table to really, you know, understand this a little bit more and see how this energy is going to be your next glow up with your lifestyle. Okay, we have the Page of Discs. Ooh, we have the Queen of Discs. Oh my God. Judgment. And we have the Prince of Cups. Okay, so definitely people. People are very significant with all these court cards coming out. On the bottom of the deck is Three of Swords. Okay, so I want to talk about this Three of Swords first, okay? So in this lifestyle glow up, like this timeline where your life looks different, where it's back to where you want to be, it feels like you are healed. You're no longer letting this pain, these triggers, knock you out of the room, you know? In this timeline, you are okay with what has happened. You're healed. It's integrated with these swords piercing and the life force dripping from these swords. It's piercing the heart. And there's like these swords are also like very much tethered into the heart. It feels like you have integrated some truth about this betrayal, integrated the truth about your pain, your trauma, your fears. This could also be a betrayal of your, you know, that you've done to yourself by becoming afraid of something. Maybe even, you know, with the Pentacles energy here, maybe being afraid of losing stability, you know, losing some type of stability, security, financial aspect of your life, maybe having fear there caused you to, you know, fall from that timeline, lose access to the room, right? Also the Prince of Cups, this could have been, you know, a fear or even just like an emotional trigger from somebody that was romantic, right? Somebody that you loved, or somebody that you just loved, right? It doesn't necessarily mean that it has to be romantic. But in this timeline, I see you completely healed from that. And that was one of the biggest factors here of you falling, is your mind being in anguish, your heart being in anguish, and then it affecting your mind. That's what this Three of Swords is about. But in this next timeline, you are healed. You have integrated these truths, and you're actually allowing it to better your life through the way that you interact with possibly the people that are in your life. You know, you're making better choices with your relationships. You're making better choices when it comes to your money. With the Page of Pentacles here, I see you going on a new business venture. Okay, or this could be a new educational venture, so going back to school. It could also be you're going on a venture that involves health, okay, with the Pentacles here. But I see you making a very feasible, I want to say feasible plan of longevity. Whatever it is, it's something that is going to give your life abundance. But, you know, with the page here, this is a plan that is developed. And I see that you take it all the way with the Queen. You're nurturing it. You know, the King and the Queen are very much the same type of energy, but it is projected in a different way. So you reach the top, I see here, with some type of goal. It could be a financial goal, a school, like an educational school goal, or maybe even something that involves like your lifestyle, like your health of some sort. But I see you very much being like the Queen of Pentacles. I love her. I love her. I relate to her so much. Like, she's that queen that takes care of home. She takes care of the baby. She takes care of herself, her family. She takes care of the business, her work life. You know, she's about her money. Okay. So I really do feel like, you know, you could be taking care of children. You could be taking care of a home, building a home in this new life glow up, and it feels very like rooted in things that matter, that feel purposeful, and that like it almost feels like you are taking these certain things, like the person that you are with, like maybe even romantically, the friends that are around you, it feels like purpose. The way that you're choosing to live your life, it feels very purposeful. You know, what you do for work, it feels like purpose. You enjoy it because it's a part of the fabric of your essence. And so this is what brings longevity in a lot of different areas of your life. Okay, so I see you growing this very abundant, financially abundant life. And that could have been a very big factor. Like you could have, like, you know, when you were in this room, in this timeline before, you were making a certain amount of money, and then possibly something happened where you felt triggered, and you fell from grace. You fell from some type of lifestyle, I want to say, and now you're back. And so what I really feel like is you need to work on the mental aspect of these things, okay? Not so much what the physical looks like, but how you think about what has happened, you know, to you in these betrayals, in these, you know, with these fears that, you know, possibly sabotaged you, okay? You sabotaging yourself. I would address the fears. I would address the pain. I would address the trauma, and kind of work yourself through of understanding why these things happened, why you felt that way. Was it necessary, right? To feel this fear, to feel triggered, you know? So with the Judgment here, I do see that you are going to have access to this room, but there's something that goes beyond this room. I think beyond this door, right, there's a room that you had access to, and it was only like, I'm seeing like, I don't know, I'm seeing a powder room, I'm seeing like a parlor. You know how like people go to the parlor to have some drinks? You know, they go to the parlor. I watch Downton Abbey, so you know, like they have their dinner, and then they go to the parlor to sit down and have tea or drinks or something like that, right? I see that, but that room leads to another room. So this is just like getting back into that really good space, possibly in your relationships, in your health, in your finances. And you already know what that is. You already know how that feels. You know, this is about a lot of money coming in, feeling very extremely healthy, feeling very extremely rooted. Like I want to say, things are in order. The Queen of Pentacles makes me feel that way. Now I do see someone coming in, like someone very special. You know, you kind of possibly going on dates with this person, or there could be like a new friendship that comes into play in this relationship with the Prince of Cups here, okay? Let's get some more information here. We have Mercury. Words, thoughts, analysts. This is the thing. You need to talk it out. Mercury could be that you need to talk to a mentor, talk to a therapist about this Three of Swords energy, right? Your pain, your trauma, you know, your fears, your anxiety. It says words, thoughts, analysts, information, learning, trade, ideas, smarts, reporting, awareness, vision, perception, curiosity, okay, muse, wonder. So I do feel like I see a mentor coming into your life. I see you also like taking your good ideas, taking of what you've learned. It's almost like you can tap into that frequency. Pay attention to what you were doing during that time when all of this happened, when you had access to this timeline, you had access to this room where all this good stuff was happening in your life, and you felt like you had your glow up, but you fell from grace because you weren't able to keep that frequency vibrating. You weren't able to anchor in. You were able to experience it, but you weren't anchored, okay? And so I do feel like there's some type of mentor that comes in. There's a vision that comes into play. I also feel like you need to look back to how you were, like, what were you doing during those times? What type of activities were you doing? What were your focuses? What were the types of thoughts that were going through your mind, belief systems that you were very heavily focused on before the fear hit, before the anxiety, before the pain, you know, triggered you, okay? I do do feel that though you could be using your words, your information, your voice, creating a vision in this next glow up. We have trine, harmonize, aids, enriches, benefits, energizes, enjoys, gifts, supports, indulges. Especially with this pentacle energy, you are indulging in this life. You're able to buy the material things that you want. You know, the Queen of Pentacles, she eats good, she dresses good, you know, she experiences life in a very lavish way because she got that coin. So I feel like you're very much like, you know, your life is enriched by your finances and by your health, like your, you know, your mental health, your physical health. I feel like you are very, very supported here. Life is energized in this next glow up. Okay, things are just kind of falling together. You feel very supported by life. Okay, in your romantic area, in your friendships. Ooh, my nose, I feel like I'm about to sneeze. And in your work life as well. Okay, very much focused on like bettering your health through exercise, but it feels very relaxing. You know, it feels like it grounds you. It's something that you are able to do all the time. It's, you know, with the Pentacles energy, I would say find something that helps you, that you are able to do every day. If you're struggling with like a workout routine, like if HIIT is your thing, do HIIT. If yoga is your thing, do yoga. You know, especially if this is something like, do the exercise that you were doing when you had access to this timeline, to this room, right? Okay, so one more, Spirit. We have the 7th house, relating, partners, companionship, best friends, marriage, relationships, sharing, communion, justice, balance, social awareness. If you felt betrayed, you will be getting balanced. You will be getting justice in this area of your life. If you felt like you were done wrong financially, if you were done wrong by the heart, by someone, I definitely was saying that your relationships are going to expand. I see you really, you know, creating really deep friendships, strong, deep, bonded friendships. I see you possibly getting married, and just communing, having like a social awareness as well, like seeing where you are in this society, you know, where you stand on a social status. Okay, I see that going up, and because there's a queen here, you're going from a page to a queen. So, and it's a pentacle energy. So there's this energy of you being the one that people want you to work for them. They want to work for you. They want your services. Okay. So let's get some more energies here. We have the moonbeamed filled waterfall. I think you're in this lifestyle. You're no longer afraid to express yourself, to cry. This card is about crying and letting the emotions out. I think this could also be advice to how to get back into this room, into this lifestyle, by expressing yourself truly and fully. You could have gone through a period where you felt like your voice was cut off, or you couldn't speak about certain things, or you were embarrassed to express yourself. I would say that in this timeline, you're expressing yourself fully, and that is why. And that goes all around with the way that you show up to work, your life, you know, with your family, the way you dress, the way that you know, your shows and your activities. Like, life is about expression, period. So you're no longer afraid to just express yourself, the things that you like to do, the things that you're passionate about, but also you're not afraid to talk about the things that hurt, you know, and it actually benefits you. Giggle factor. You're laughing a lot more. You're excited. You're like a child, you know, you're just, you really don't give a fuck. That's what I feel like in this lifestyle. You know, you are expressing yourself, you're having fun, you're laughing. You know how kids don't really think too much about what they say and how they dress and what they do. They're just there to have a good time, to express, to experience. So I see you having a lot of fun with your friends, with your people. We have creative explosion. So you're definitely in this lifestyle, will be having like this creative explosion, expressing yourself. I see you very much expressing yourself in your, like in your dress, in your life, like the activities that you like do. You might even be sharing that in a very creative way, maybe possibly online. Like I've been thinking about trying to get into book talk, you know, because I'm very like, I'm a bookworm. So it could be like little things like that. Also, I like to knit and like to crochet. So it could be like certain things that you want to share. You know, I see you sharing yourself more, possibly on social media or with these groups that are like-minded, right? So yeah, that is what I'm feeling for you with this glow up number 2. I know that you can get back there. Okay. If you're struggling with keeping this self-concept, which is the preferred identity, join us August 8th, because the Lion Gates ritual is going to be centered around that self-concept creation, that creation of that self that you want to embody. House of Glamours is all about that. So join if you're interested. Check out these resources that I have for you, and I'll see you at the ritual in a couple days. Peace. All right, number 3, welcome to your reading. Let's find out. I want to look at your door. Let's look at your glow up. We're going to tap into your glow up, your lifestyle, and see what types of stuff is going to happen in this glow up, your lifestyle. Now, your door is very significant here, very different. It has an angel on it. So I feel that there's this strong emphasis on you understanding that you are protected, that there is nothing preventing you from glowing up. There is nothing that's going to stop you from getting through this door. There is, in fact, once you actually get onto this timeline, which you are, but it's about rooting yourself. Like number 2, if you have a problem, since I'm feeling like I need to say this, if you feel like you are struggling with keeping a vibration of like a certain vibration, trying to get into this timeline, right? These behaviors, these activities, watch number 2. Okay, but there's this energy of once you actually get rooted into this timeline, because here we're tapping into it, you have entered into this timeline, but it's about staying on it, right? You are protected. So let's look at the picture that's going to give us a message about entering into this. So I'll put it here on the screen. This picture here is really giving that you are given these keys. You're going to be given access to this timeline. There could be some type of like initiation. There needs to be some type of like awakening to get to stay rooted. Let's just say that, to really root yourself into, unlock this timeline where you have access to it all the time and that you're rooted into it. It feels like there is something that is going to be gifted to you. This could be gifted by your guides, because that angel is really giving me that vibe that you're protected and that, you know, these keys are given to you, so nobody can really take away these keys, because there's a certain frequency of vibration, a code, in order to have access to this key, to this timeline. So know that you're protected here, okay, on this timeline, and that you're going to be gifted access to this timeline. But I do feel like there is some type of like initiation to at least continue to experience what we're about to get into here. So let's get some cards here on the table for number 3. It feels like this key is going to come through a gift. We have the Page of Pentacles coming out. That came out for number 2 as well. We have the 3 of Wands coming. out. We have the Queen of Pentacles. Definitely, I'm going to pull more cards, but the Queen of Pentacles also came out for number 2. Wow. Okay, so one more, Spirit. I'm going to pull more just to clarify these energies for you. We have the Queen of Swords coming out. Bottom of the deck is Hermit energy. We have the Page of Swords coming out as well. We have the Four of Swords. It's time to go beyond. What I really feel is that you've been kind of like, see, imposter syndrome. So on this timeline, you're no longer seeing yourself as this page that's just starting out, that, you know, is just like maybe even novice to this way of life, this way of, you know, with Pentacles energy, this could be, you know, anything of the physical nature. It could be surrounding your finances, your health, schooling, just building a life, you know, maybe even becoming a mother, because we do have 2 queens here. So there's this energy of understanding that you are past this. You know, you're no longer in this phase of needing to learn. And I think in this old timeline, you felt very like you struggled, I want to say, because we have the Hermit here. I think you've spent a lot of time uncovering yourself, discovering yourself. So, you know, you are going to be going beyond that. It's not saying that you're done with the 3 of Wands and this new lifestyle. I see you really like expanding into self, your creativity expanding, your knowledge of the world beginning to expand, your inner world also, like you discovering your inner worlds much in depthly. You know, with the 3 of Wands here, it's about self-discovery, it's about travel, it's about, you know, going beyond where you are currently at, you know, going overseas into new territories. It's time. That's why I was really feeling like there's some type of initiation kind of phase here. It's time to go beyond. It's time to like graduate to the next land, to the next new territory, to also just explore more about life, explore more about yourself, you know. So I do see possibly you traveling. You could be traveling. If this is not actual physical travel, you are expanding yourself in some type of way. You're traveling to different territories of these different parts of your life that you want to see expansion in. You're realizing that you can't expand the way that you want. Being in this category or this area of life, just sitting there thinking that you don't have really anything to offer to the world, with such these energies of the Queen of Pentacles and the Queen of Swords and the Hermit, you have a lot of like knowledge. Possibly you could be some type of spiritual teacher, or you could be ready to, you know, teach your children in some type of way, or you're just ready to kind of like expand yourself and say, okay, I'm not really this novice kind of energy. I'm ready to go for that promotion. I'm ready to put myself out there and maybe do my own practice. I'm ready to, you know, possibly do my own business. There's something about that, like understanding that you're no longer this page, you're actually like a queen. And so I do see things taking off pretty quickly in your life. I see you using your voice more, even if it is triggering. I don't know why I'm seeing Candace Owens, because I was watching this video about her, yesterday, and it was saying that, you know, her brand is like triggering people. So I don't know if that's you like to trigger people, but it's about making people feel. So I feel that you might be using your voice, you might be putting yourself out there, you know, putting out messages, whether that's like, I'm ready to take it a step further in my career, I'm ready to take it a step further in, you know, my interactions in my relationships. Like, I'm ready to get married, I want to be married, I want to be in a committed relationship with these Queen's energy. You're putting yourself out there whether people like it or not. I feel like with the Four of Wands, there's a lot of happiness. There's a happy home being built in this lifestyle. There's unity in this, you know, a community being built in this lifestyle. You being a part of something of that, you know, of a group, of a community. You could even be, you know, wanting to lead something. Like I said, have your own business. You could be wanting to have your own practice. Some of you guys are wanting to possibly cross over into a holistic kind of way of sharing your services, or I want to keep saying practice, so like you might be a lawyer of some sorts, especially with the Queen of Swords being here. I see like you possibly passing the bar, and now like, you know, you're thinking about how you want to eventually see your future. How do you want to expand your business, expand your services, your career, definitely with this Queen of Pentacles being here. But with the Four of Swords is what I want to say, is that there is like these deep truths that you have rested upon yourself. It's like you're exiting out of this baby phase that you've been keeping yourself in. You're exiting out of this baby phase. It's almost like there's this imposter syndrome that you had to really get over, and realizing that you haven't been a page for a really long time. You know, like you have the experience, you have the knowledge, you know, you have very like all this structure. So I do see like your career expanding tremendously in this lifestyle, and it becoming a big focus in this glow up. So make sure to check out your career and finance glow up with this series that I'm doing. But this, you know, Hermit card, this is really about your spirituality. I see you getting very deep into like the mystical and spiritual realm of your life, and not needing any kind of validation from other people to understand that this is where you want to go. This is actually expanding your life in a very prosperous way, creative way with the Three of Wands. And there's just like some truth that you can't shake about yourself, about your life, about the practices that you want, the relationships that you want to keep. Okay. I do see that with the Queen of Swords in this lifestyle, you have more of like very like detached, emotionally detached, you know. Queen of Pentacles, it's very rooted in reality, very rooted in practicality. She's rooted in logic here. So it's like you have a very strong sense of self and how you want your life to be, and how you know, want to project that out into the world. And that's why you have no problem, like, you know, telling people how you feel, how you want things to be done, how you see yourself. I do see you feeling like a very valuable aspect to society, to, you know, to the people around you, to the world. You know, and so I do feel like there's like this, there could be like you're very well known, I want to say, in your industry. People are talking about you, very much. People are hearing about you with the Knight of Swords, and that Three of Wands here. But there's a detached kind of energy that you've had to kind of step into, you know, to understand. It's like leaving the nest. It's almost like a leaving of nest kind of energy here. Okay, let's get some more information on this. Okay, so we have Sagittarius. Like I said, you could be traveling. You are getting into higher learning, higher spiritual learning. Okay, you're seeking, you're taking risk, you know, in this lifestyle. You're feeling extremely lucky. You don't really feel like there are boundaries here when it comes to the things that you want to accomplish. Okay. And you're just, you know, you're very independent. You're, you know, in this lifestyle, very, very independent. You could be getting married, you could be committed, but there is a strong independence when it comes to this pile. Jupiter expansion. So your pockets are expanding. You know, everybody in this series, their finances are glowing up. This is a glow up activation. So we're tapping into a preferred timeline, doing some tarot magic. And, you know, so, but for Jupiter to come out for you, this is like, you know, Big Daddy Jupiter, like Father Jupiter with the expansion, right? So there's a lot of abundance, prosperity. There's an energy of feeling privileged, you know, having a privileged life. You could be, of course, going to foreign countries, exploring foreign cultures or practices. What else am I seeing here? Teaching, like, again, you could be becoming some type of teacher, some type of mentor here. And so I do feel like that kind of area of your life is expanding, you know. So we have Pisces energy here. There's an imaginative, like, you know, if you are connected to some type of emotional energy in this glow up, it's your creativity, it's your imaginative energy. Again, mystical energy coming in. Okay, so I do feel like there is an energy of feeling very healed, possibly healing through different new practices. I also feel like you're getting over self-pity, you're getting out of escapism. There's like, that doesn't exist on this timeline here. There's a very, like, you are compassionate with self, but you're very strict when it comes to the things that you want to accomplish, okay? So we have the first house, which is self, physical body, outlook, self-image, life, opinions. We have gateway, okay? And this is on, there's like a door on this card that opens up to the Emerald City. So the yellow brick road leading to the Emerald City. It just feels like you are getting some kind of big wish here, but it's being granted and given to you because you are, like, the initiation process is realizing that you are deserving of this timeline, that you are deserving of this position, you are deserving of this expansion, because you're, you know, to get to the Queen of Pentacles, to get to the Queen of Swords, this is about having a practical, logical approach about the physical world, about things that make sense. So this isn't like running away with your emotions, or just being like really having this high drive that is not like grounded in some type of way. This is a very grounded energy. You have a very strong sense of self. I see your physical body also changing as well, being very strict and rigid when it comes to those types of routines. Your career and your body very much is, you know, I do see people around you, but I do feel you're very, very focused on the self. There could be certain relationships, you know, particularly like feminine relationships or children that are very important to you. But I do see you kind of sticking to yourself in this lifestyle, just because I think you have like this really big goal and wanting to reach a higher level. Okay, when it comes to possibly your career, just the way that you want your life to look. And so that kind of requires maybe possibly exiting out of a lot of people in your life. Okay, now we have time lapse. It does feel like in this timeline, you are not really connected to time. You're more connected to the process, the unfolding. As long as you show up, as long as you're pouring into this, it's like, you lose track of time the more that you focus on these things, these goals, these things that are important, the things that feel purposeful, the things that make you feel expansive and abundant and happy and creative. Okay, so there's really no sense of time. We have two faces of mankind. So it does feel like you have this very strong, like the Queen of Swords is really giving, like, you know, I've always felt like she has this perfect androgynous, like, mixture of both divine feminine and divine masculine energy. So this is like a integration of that, and becoming very serious about these serious matters in your life, but, you know, your career, your body, your health, you know, building a life here. I see you kind of getting very focused on that and becoming very balanced within yourself. You know, very much about the self, integrating these things about self. We have a force of nature, you know, and I love this card because I feel forces of nature, it's making me feel like there is a clearing of the grid. And it happens the moment that you realize that you're not a little child anymore. You're not a little baby. You've been doing this. You're actually far beyond what you've been believing yourself to be. So again, there's some imposter syndrome that is probably the initiation. It's you realizing and really embodying that you're not a baby anymore. You know, you're not just a student, you're a teacher. You're not just a worker, you're a boss, bitch. Okay? So this forces of nature is really giving that there is going to be a clearing of the grid. In this is going to be a clean slate, a clean, you know, when the lightning hits, when this awareness and this opening of this room, the opening of this timeline, it is clear. Okay, it's a brand new energy, and I really love that for you. You feel very, I don't want to say you feel empty. In this timeline, I feel like you're no longer paying attention to the things like that keep energy, like keep you heavy, you know, that tie you down. And so that's what I was feeling, like a disconnect, a detachment to the emotional, that you feel like you've released everything in the old timeline. It's time to just step into this, knowing who you are. Okay, so check out the Lion Gates ritual that's happening in a couple days. Okay, we're tapping into this self-concept, which is the preferred identity with this preferred timeline. Check out the House of Glamours. Check out all these resources that I have for you guys for leveling up. Okay, I'll see you at the ritual. Peace.